victorious, victorialus. Erastus necessitas. Horarius despondeo. Spiritus Domino.
Hi guys, if you are wondering if there is a possibility to play the Rome Total War board game, there is a possibility with Tabletop Simulator. There is a module on the workshop. So we're going to go and see that. So I have here Rome Total War, the board game. So I'm going to load it. So in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit of what you got when you download or pretty much subscribe to this module. So we begin with the actual map, which is pretty nice. And you have different areas here. Pretty much the areas that are shaded in different colors, for example, here, here, and down here. You see this is yellow, this is purple. And we have as well, there's another faction here. These are the Greeks. We have the Romans and we have the Phoenicians, including the Gauls, which is the green one. The actual shaded names, those shaded squares, are the starting positions for each of the factions. So for example, in Greece, you start from Byzantium down to Sparta and to Apollonia. Everything here, you start with your faction. And as you can see, you can there's a representation of rivers, representation of mountains, representation even of actual forests. And this everything has to do with the movement ranges and how you can move. Of course, you have also fleets, which you can place on the different sea tiles that we have here. And the game plays pretty much the same as the PC version, but it is adapted to be played as a tabletop. So it's pretty nice. So we begin with what is inside here. So we have different stuff here. We have the map. We have the faction markers, which are down here. Let me show you here. We have different faction markers. This thing here that you see here is pretty much the diplomatic thing, including the developments, which are the technology tree and whatever you want to advance in terms of technology. We have money here, for example. These are gold that you can find inside here. Eventually, this is not going to be the arrangement that you're going to get when you just load the thing. There is going to be a lot of different stuff in here. I just put this stuff as I wanted to show you because this is pretty much the actual base game. There's another one that appears here with another table here, but this other one is sort of a trading card game in which you are going to fight in the fashion of a battle card game, something like that. So as I was mentioning, these are the pieces. We have the agents miniature. So we have this thing here is a guide for you to see what do you got inside. This is just to represent the actual physical one, because I think this is representing the physical thing. But pretty much what you can do here in Tabletop Simulator is a lot of, it's pretty much this. So you can go and you can search for the things that you want. For example, here that you have mountainous terrain, you go here and you go search and you can find whatever you want. But that's another topic because this is not a tabletop simulator tutorial. So these are the factions. Now the miniatures are pretty much, as I mentioned before, I have a video showing the Kickstarter of this board game. Actually, I think now, at this moment, at the time of the recording of this video, you can go and order the actual physical game. So you have the goals here. These are the beautiful. Well, actually, they just changed it because they were different here. I think they just updated this thing. So we have the goals here. Every single faction here has also their own fleets and their own agents. The agents are these. These are 2D, and all of these agents are the same. Basically, if you want to see some differences, are the actual models here. Look at this model. This is beautiful. These are the Greeks. Okay, the Greeks are representing Macedon here. Then the Gauls here are representing all the Gallic tribes, and we have this model here. Pretty nice. You have as well the colors that represent each of those. We have the purple, the green. They are also color coded on the actual map. And yeah, we have the cards. These are the cards that represent the actual armies. Let me show you here. I'm going to turn them. You have competent general, which is the actual general. You have generals. The actual miniatures here represent the generals. For example, here it says Army 3, Army 3 and Army 2 and Army 4 and Army 1, as you can see. And each of those, let's say I'm just going to put this here so you can see that, for example, this is the Army 3. Well, actually you have numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this Army 3 is here. So wherever you place this miniature on the map, let me place it here, because I'm going to show you a little bit how do you set up a first game if you want to play with someone. So you place this thing. There's actually a surprise here that I'm going to show you. If you download, or if you happen to buy, or if you happen to have Tabletop Simulator, you're going to be able to actually play this thing in solo mode, but that's for a little bit more further in the video. In here, I'm going to place it here in Rome. So this means that the Army 3, which is represented here by this number, you take these cards, and pretty much these are the actual things, the actual units that are inside this army. So inside this army, we have these three units. We have two Republican legionnaires and one competent general. Actually, you can, if I am not mistaken, you have the possibility. Let me see here and go and search. There is Scipio, I think. It's not listed here, but you can try to find Scipio Africanus, something around here. It should be the generals or something. It has the actual image of the general. For example, there's Hannibal Barca as well. So, for example, this is a mediocre general. Let me show you here. I'm going to place it here so I can show you all the types of general. We have here another one. We have another one here, another one here. I'm gonna take all of them. So here I can show you. Let's just close here. So there's Gaius Julius Caesar, okay, as a general. You have another mediocre general here, another mediocre general, and a competent general. So those represent generals in the actual PC game. There are, for as well, Marcus Licinius Crassus is present on Rome. You have Italian infantryman, Republican legionnaire, and Scipio Africanus. So these are the generals. We have three of the most important generals. So we have, as I mentioned before, Gaius Julius Caesar and Scipio Africanus plus Marcus Licinius Crassus. You have as well the possibility to, let me show you here, the possibility to have in-game Mago Barca, as in this first army. And let me see if I can find him. Search. There you go. That's a competent general. So let's go here. Another competent general. Let's go ahead and find the other one. Search here. It's not here. Bear with me because you are going to like it. We have here another mediocre general, and finally, you can find here. There you go. Hasdrubal Barca. So we have different generals that are represented on the cards, and you can place them on the actual areas here that represent the generals. And yeah, that's the way they are represented here with cards and actual miniatures. So let me go ahead and show you how do you set this thing up. So you place your armies whatever you want. This is Rome, so we're going to place one in Brundisium, Croton, one in Rome, and one in here in the north. So let's say that we are Rome, and we're going to place our agents. We have another agent here, and place this one here. Good. Of course, we have fleets as well, so I can place these other fleets. You can see these things here. These symbols represent the actual ports. So you can place your actual, these are triremes. You can put the triremes over here in these two ports. Okay, just move this guy here. And then we're going to set the things for the Carthaginians. I haven't shown you the Carthaginians. These are the Carthaginian models. Very nice. Eventually, the actual triremes are pretty much the same for every single faction. The only thing that changes is the color. So let me put this one here. And I'm going to place these two other guys, these two other armies over here. Now you have noted that I have randomly placed them. I have a note what is the number of the army, but that doesn't matter. That basically doesn't matter because I think this is you're supposed to place them whatever you want. Okay, let's just place this thing here. And yeah, just arrange these guys here. There we go. Okay, these are the generals. So let's say that we want, for example, for the first army, we want Marcus Licinius Crassus. So I'm going to place it here. For the third army, I want Scipio Africanus. And for the fourth army, I want Gaius Julius Caesar. Excellent. And in here, I'm going to set Mago Barca. Well, it's actually in the first one, second one, and the third one is going to be Hasdrubal Barca and Mediocre General in here. So we're doing good. This means that this one is the third army, which is fourth, second, and third. This one here. So here we have Hannibal Barca and Hasdrubal Barca. Okay, let's set up the triremes here on the ports. These are going to be the Carthaginian ports, and we have this guy here and this guy here and the other agent. Okay, everything else here. Yeah, these things. Just going to place them here. Okay, beautiful. I think we're done with that. Also, we have the fleets. Fleets, we have two, and these are the numbers of each fleet, and you can see here what is the actual cards that are on those armies. So we have two ships in here. Beautiful. So you set them like this, okay? And basically what you do, you have this, okay? We have different types of cards. We have here, these are the, let me show you, these are the initiative cards, and these are the action cards. And you have these squares. So we're going to select the two squares that are representing our factions. And let's place these guys here. So you begin in 0, both of you. And the actual thing here is that you're going to be going up in here and have victory points. You have coins, which represent the actual money, and you are asking yourself, well, how do you get the money? Well, each of these provinces, they have numbers here. For example, the central province, which is the red one, has A3, A2, I1, so on and so forth. So every single turn, if you go here, it says phases of battle, because this is representing the battle when you go to battle, but this is another topic. This is phases order per round. So you begin with initiative phase, the agent phase, the taxation phase, the campaign phase, and then we go to the spending phase. So how you do it very quickly, you have a lot of options here. You can go to quick reference sheet here, and you have here the rules as well. You can check the rules here. There's a lot of rules here that you can read, and this is the battle play that represents the other tables that were here. But you have also the cards that are the action cards that represent the actual actions for the agents and the actual trading and assassination attempts and stuff like that. So it's very nice because you will have a lot of flashbacks from the actual PC game, and the way they implemented this, it's pretty nice. I'm going to leave a link on the description in which you can go and basically see the rules, and the actual guys in charge of the development of this tabletop game are going to tell you what are the rules. But so far, this is what you do. So the first thing you gotta do, you have different types of dice. Let me show the dice here. These types of dice have different symbols here, and those symbols represent also the cards. Let me show you one card here. These are, for example, the battle cards. So when you fight, you have these symbols that are also on the actual dice. So for example, in here, you can see these two symbols. This is this one. This is the S1, which is this one. And then you have down here the skull, which is somewhere around, let me see here. So everything here has to do with battle, and you see colors here that has to do with the explanation of the battle, but that's another topic, as I mentioned before. The thing is that you can you do everything basically with the dice and the movement of the troops. So over here you can see how you can set the thing. Let me see over here. So it starts everything like this. So it says that the winning of the game is for the victory points. So in the let me show you here. It says here, let's go here, pop out. So winning the game, victory points. In the corner of the board is a victory ladder for each faction. Keep track of your victory points using one of your faction markers. When the first player reaches the required victory points for the chosen trigger points, this becomes the final round. Finish that round, and the player with the most points is the winner, so on and so forth. So that's the way you do it, and you have here all the game rules, the game rounds, when you start, why do you start, and you have to have something important. You have to have at hand this thing here. This is the quick reference sheet, because let me show you. These are the action cards. The action cards are all of these cards that have different things. If you have played the PC game, you may recognize this. This is, if you see here, that's the eye. You see here, that's the spy. So move your agent to another player's army action. The opponent shows you all the cards in the army, and you can share this view with an ally. So what this means is that you're going to receive cards. So you're going to receive some of these cards. For example, let's say that these are the cards that you received, that you have received, and this means that you have this. So you have the option, different options here. This number here means that you can cache this card instead of using it. You can use two things from the card, three things from the card. The money, if you don't want to use the actual situation, this is trading and this is assassination. You can check that, as I mentioned before, over here. So for example, here's assassination, move your agent to another player's. And also you have the possibility to do the actual action here, disruptive storms, move enemy fleet at sea, one region, can be cancelled by benefit, or you can do determine troops. Troops excel themselves at one extra green dice, 22 combatants for whatever you want to do when you are fighting. So you have this strategic thing in which you can choose which cards you are going to use each turn and which cards you're not going to use, so on and so forth. The thing is that you get from 1 to 4, you get a number. So let's say that you got 1 and your opponent got 2. So for example, your opponent is Carthage, you got 1. That's the first thing you do. That's the actual initiative phase. So this means that I got 1, so I have the lowest number, the highest number is the one that wins. So this means that Carthage, or whoever is going to use Carthage, is going to select. If you turn these over, you can see an arrow. So let's say that there are more players. So I can place this arrow here, and let's say that the other player, no, actually here. So I'm going to place this here, and I want me to be the first one, and then the arrow indicates that the other one is the next one, if that's clear. So in this case, let's say that my opponent is Carthage and he decided to be first, and then he puts this thing here and the arrow points at me. So this means that he was first and so on and so forth. But you have the possibility to select yourself to be second. So you do this instead. This means that the guy that is here goes first and then goes down. This is the initiative phase, okay? Then you have the agent phase. So for example, now it's the turn of Rome, and he has this thing. So he can do assassination. He has this card and he decided to do assassination, which is this card. And this is the symbol. So he finds here and it says, move your agent to another player's general or agent. Okay, so let's do that. So let's say that whoever is using Rome, let's say that we're using Rome, we're going to move this guy over here, and he is in front of Army 2. So who is the general here in the Army 2? Is competent general. Okay, so it says here that he's using this thing here. Okay, so action. When a general is the target, roll 1 red die, and when the agent is the target, roll 2 red dice, and take the best result. So let's do it. I'm going to roll this one. Okay, and it is an S. So if a school, the general or agent is killed, an X, your agent dies, and S, your agent survives. So this means that because we got the S in this red die, then this means that we couldn't kill it, couldn't kill the general, but we managed to survive, if you remember from the PC game. So that's the thing. Then you have the taxation phase. The taxation phase is that phase in which you have you count all your areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So this means that you're going to take 13. Okay. Sorry, it's not this one, is here. You're going to take, this is 5 gold. So you're going to take 2 5 gold and 3 of these. So you're going to take 13 gold, and there you go. You put the gold here. That's the taxation phase. And then you have the campaign phase. Okay. The campaign phase is the phase in which you are going to decide where to move. So for example, let's begin with this thing here. Syracuse here. No, let's go rather here to Genoa. Genoa has a green square here and it says number 1. So I'm going to move army number 1. Army number 1 goes to Genoa, and the army number 3 goes to Batavium. Okay, let's check that out. Army number 1, it is commanded by, let me see. I think it's not commanded by any general. Marcus Licinius Crassus. Okay, and the next army, as we mentioned, is Army 3. So Army 3 is commanded by here, competent general. Okay, so we have a competent general and Licinius Crassus here. So how do we conquer this? Now, actually, I haven't mentioned something here, something important, and those are these territory markers. So basically, you have these markers, and the markers have two sides, the light side and the black side. And if you see here, the light side is conquered and dark side means home region. Okay, so dark side is the home region. So we're going to place pretty much this should have been done at the beginning. So let's take more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's take these guys here and let's place them here. This goes here, this goes here. And we have Neapolis and all of those here. So let's move these guys here very quickly. I just don't want to extend this video too much. Okay, so there you have it, and this one. Okay, these are the owned regions. Okay, these are home regions. You do the same for the other factions. So now we're going to take two because we're going to conquer two regions, and we're going to see if we conquer them. So we have sent this army. The first army, as I said before, let's take the first army. This is the first army. Okay, let's spread the cards here just to show you. So it's a pretty huge army. It's not bad. And here we have Marcus Licinius Crassus invading Genoa. So what do we do? Actually, there's an explanation here when you throw the dice over here in here. Let me show you where's the explanation when you do that. So, for example, conquering independent regions. If an independent region has barracks, then it is considered to be garrison. Otherwise, if an army enters an empty independent region that has no enemy army present, even if another faction has already conquered it, the army entering it must immediately try to conquer it, and an opposing player makes a defense roll. This is always, it is 2 green if worth 1 gold, 2 yellow when 2 gold, and 2 red when 3 gold. Except mercenary regions. Mercenary regions, I haven't talked about that, but are those marked with an M, because we have mercenary cards that are actually here. Okay, and it says here, and its color in the gold box on the map. If your army is not destroyed, you have successfully subdued the region and place a control marker on it. Your army may continue off if you have remaining movement points. So for example, each army have different movement points. I'm not going to enter into these details, but for example, as it says here, we need 2 of these dice. So I'm going to take another one. So let me take both of them. Okay, let me just delete this one. For some reason, it appears to be bigger. Okay, let's throw 2 of these. 1. Okay, and another one. And it's 1. So it means that one of our troops dies and the other troops stay alive. What this means is that we conquer the area. For example, that your army, your whole army is destroyed. That means if you are left with 1 card, as far as I understand, if you are left with 1 card, then it's gone. You can only have at a maximum of 2 cards in your army in order for your army to survive. And if you happened to be here and you go here, and then a battle ensues. This means that there is going to be a battle, and the battle, it is a completely different monster, which is this thing, Phases of Battle, and that is happening when that special event is going to trigger. Apart from that, the last part, spending phase, is that phase in which you have your money and you have here your developments, and you select which development you want to put. This is the diplomatic situation. So if you want to declare war, you go to enemy, neutral, whatever you want, friendly or ally, depending on what do you do with the other faction. And before closing up, there is, let me show you, somewhere around here, instructions for solo play. And that is here. I just put it here. So there are instructions for solo play over here. And that means that it's going to tell you all the things that you have to do in order to set this thing for a solo play. It's interesting to note this. Okay, so we have finished with the video here. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, give a like, and share the video. This was Victus. See you in the next one.